Let's turn this up. Okay, I think everything's good. Let me double check. Make sure that it's all working properly. Cool. Okay, so hey guys, doing a little live stream here for a little while. I've been working on this list for a while, and I kind of wanted to talk about my pre-raid BiS list for Protection Paladins during Phase 1, next to the Molten Core. I've got several things on here. I'll mostly be talking about like the top priority items that you'll want to get. Like these are the ones that are like amazing, and these are like the ones that you're gonna try and aim for. But I have like second and third options on here just in case, because some of these like primary items are pretty hard to get. So just keep that in mind. So I guess I'll start working my way down the list. Well, I'll start here. I just want to point out that the Scarlet Crusade Tabard, or Tabard of the Scarlet Crusade, is obviously your best in slot tabard. It makes any set look good. I guarantee you. Even if you're wearing the ugliest armor in the world, Scarlet Tabard makes it look good. I'm unironically going to be farming this like crazy when I hit 70 or 60. I'm sorry, but yeah, it looks really good. But yeah, so Onyxia Molten Core Phase 1. This is all pre-raid, so I won't be including any items from Onyxia and Molten Core. So this is all dungeon gear, UBRS, quests, things like that. So I'll start working from the top. We're going to start with the shoulders. The top part... Well, I also want to point out, disclaimer before I get into this. I didn't include any world drops in here, so things like Stockade Pauldrons, Flurry Axe, the Grand Marshal Morris necklace, all those things, I do not include in here. But those are, for the most part, those are obviously your best in slot. Like Stockade Pauldrons are insane. But since it's not really you're not like 100% guaranteed to like be able to reliably get one of those, I'm not going to include them. But if you do have the chance to get them, definitely get them. I can kind of talk about them later, like towards the end, like which world drops could replace some of these items. But for now, I'm just saying I'm not really talking about world drops for now. So shoulders, Wailing Nightbane Pauldrons, these are really, really good. I'll pull it up here on Classic TV so you guys can see. As you see here, they have a lot of armor, 3 defense, but what's really nice about these is that they have a lot of stats. 14 strength, 14 stamina is really, really good, combined with the armor and the defense you get from it. This drops in Stratholme, so you can be farming that place a lot as a paladin, so it's pretty nice. Next is Stone Form Shoulders. This one is... I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, this one has more defense, but the stats are... Yeah, it has no stats. It has more defense and more armor, but no stats. So it comes down to which do you prefer between these two. More mitigation or just more like overall stats. So these are both really pretty interchangeable, honestly, because some people might want the extra stamina, extra strength. I know I probably would, but some people might want the defense and the armor. The armor is really nice, though, I will say. And then that you get that from Scholomance. And then for the last thing I put on the shoulders was the Lightforged Spauldrons. And let me talk about the Lightforged set. So the Lightforged set is your... whoops, that's not... Oh my gosh, I can't type. So the Lightforged set is your dungeon set for paladins. There are some pieces in here that are pretty good. The main reason I point out some of them in this list is because the 2-piece set bonus gives you plus 200 armor, and the stats on these items are actually really, really good, and the armor they give is also really, really good compared to some of these other things. So it's actually pretty good in a lot of situations to where you can just replace some of these items with your dungeon set just for the 2-piece set bonus or for just the raw stats. I wouldn't really go over 2 pieces. You could do 3, like if you really need the stats or something, but the main reason you would replace something on here with something from your dungeon set is to get the 2-piece set bonus if you can't get some of these, like for example the Rune Golem shackles. Those come from a rare spawn if I remember correctly. So those are gonna be hard to get. So using the Lightforge bracers in replacement, along with something like Lightforge Spauldrons, like a 2-piece set bonus to replace some tricky mitigation items that you can't get. Like it's a good alternative, especially if like there's something that you just aren't like something that's just not dropping. Because you don't really need defense cap in phase 1. You're not, and as a paladin in general, you're not really trying to get defense cap. You're stacking a lot of armor, and you're really like big on stats and stuff. So you're gonna try to get as close to it as you can. But if you can't get some of these really really good defense items, don't worry. Like just get the 2-piece Lightforge set bonus, and you'll be good. Like the stats on it are really nice too. It gives them that Lightforge Spauldrons. Yeah, it gives like 15 stam. 11 int. It's got really good armor, so it's definitely like a really really good piece, and all these are pretty good pieces. So if you ever need to replace any of these, just throw on some of these. So that's all the shoulders. Oh, you get the Lightforge Spauldrons from UBRS. Forgot to point that out. But so on the chest, now we're getting into the Deathbone stuff. The Deathbone set is going to be pretty much the core of your tank gear. It's tricky to farm, but a lot of people really overestimate how difficult it is to farm these pieces. So they all drop off the same boss in Skullmance. There's 5 pieces, so all 5 pieces drop from the same boss. Each piece has a 4% chance to drop. Some people are like, oh, it's like a 1% chance, or oh, it's a 2% chance. No, it's a 4% chance, which is rough, but it's not as bad. But if you really think about it, each piece has a 4% chance to drop from these 5 pieces, so the boss kind of has like a 40% or not, I'm sorry, not 40, 20% chance to drop at least 1 piece every time you kill him. So that's really, those odds really aren't that bad. So I would definitely recommend you guys farm this. It's definitely, you use this for a long time. You pretty much you're going to be using at least some pieces from Deathbone up until a Q, if I remember correctly, because some of the pieces in here are just insane. Like, defense and MP5 is just amazing, as well as the armor it gives it. Like, it's really, really good. So yeah, Deathbone chest, Sabaton's leg guards, girdle, and gauntlets. Those are all going to be your primary best in slot items for your chest, boots, legs, belt, and hands. But there are several alternatives if you can't farm these, so if you can't get these, don't stress. Like I said, they all drop in Skullmance. Let me pull up the Deathbone. So these are the pieces right here. As you can see, they've got some really good set bonuses as well, like +3 defense, armor, resistances, 1% parry. That's really nice. And it's just really, really good. You see all this MP5 plus defense, stam, like more stam. Like this set is insane. It's so good for prop paladins. If I remember correctly, it was even put in the game for prop paladins. I mean, that would make sense, you know, defense plus MP5. So that's really, really strong. So you're definitely going to want to get those. But going back to chest, we have a bunch of options here if you can't get the Deathbone chest, so don't worry about it. We've got the ornate adamantium breastplate. This one's pretty good. I think it drops from a quest, right? Yeah, Western Plaguelands quest. It's like an escort quest. Let me pull it up. The stats are pretty good. 10 defense, 22 stam, lots of armor. That's a really good alternative to the Deathbone chest if you can't get it. This is probably your second best option. Like I said, it's a Western Plaguelands quest item. The next is Plate of the Shaman King. This one's really good if you're going for more spell power. Let me pull it up. There it is. 18 spell power, plus it's got really good armor, along with lots of stam, strength, and int, which is really good for a prop paladin. Drops in LBRS off of High Lord Omok. This is really good, like I said, if you're going for more spell power. It's definitely a good alternative to some of these if you're going for more threat generation in your build. And then lastly, we have Warrior's Embrace. This one's not that bad. Let me pull it up. Warrior's Embrace. This is from Sunken Temple. Decent armor, pretty good stam. The agi is nice, but we don't really need too much agi as a paladin anyway, so it's negligible. 2% dodge is really, really nice. So this is definitely, out of these 4 options, this is, I would say, probably your 4th best option, but it's still very, very good. Lots of mitigation on there, or avoidance, I'm sorry. And yeah, like I said, that drops in Sunken Temple. Boots, of course, Deathbone's your primary one, but besides that, we have the Shell Husk boot. Let me pull that up. It drops in BRD. Shell Husk boots. Here we are. Lots of armor, 5 stam, 2% dodge. This is really nice. Drops off a rare spawn in BRD. Actually, I don't think he's a rare spawn. It doesn't say he's a rare spawn, but I don't think he's a rare spawn. But yeah, he's in BRD. You can grab these boots off of him. It's they're pretty good. They're probably your next best bet. And then there's of course the Lightforged boots, like I was saying about the Lightforged set. If you can't get either of these, just go for this. Get the set bonus. Going on to legs, we really only have one other really good option in my opinion, is the Warmaster leg guards. Let me pull it up. Just drop in UBRS. 2% dodge is really nice. Also lots of armor and lots of stamina and strength, which is really, really nice. Drops off of Ren Blackhand, so you can be running UBRS a lot anyway, so if it drops, go for it. If you can't get Deathbone leg guards, of course. Belt, we have the Stalwart Clutch, which is a BRD quest item. I think it's BRD. It's either BRD or... No, yeah, it's BRD. Let me just look it up just in case. Whoops. Yeah, Blackrock Depths, yep. It's pretty good, you see here. Decent armor, lots of stam, lots of defense, so that's really nice. And then, of course, if you can't get that, which you probably should, because it's a quest item, of course, with all these Lightforge is your next bet. Hands, Deathbone Gauntlets, of course. Bakusarian Gauntlets. This one's... so, I'm not too sure about this one versus some of these other ones. Let me pull it up. Here they are. They're pretty nice. They have a lot of armor. They have a lot of really good stats. 15 stam, 9 strength, 9 int. That's really, really nice. And it's got 4 MP5, which is really nice. Drops off a rare spawn in UBRS, right? No, LBRS. My bad. So yeah, these seem pretty good. Like as an alternative. Another alternative is, of course, Lightforge Gauntlets and Desert Wind Gauntlets. Let me pull those up real quick. Desert Wind Gauntlets. There we go. This one's a really nice alternative as well. Lots of strength and stam. Got 6 defense. It's from a quest in Sithilus. Or Silithus, sorry. So this one's a really good alternative as well. It depends on whether or not you want more, what the MP5 or the defense between this one versus the LBRS ones. These ones are probably more reliable. So if I couldn't get the Deathbone ones, I would probably go for these. But definitely keep the Bakusarian and Lightforge Gauntlets on the table. They're both really good. Wrists, Rune Golem Shackles are really your best bet. Let me pull them up. It's a BOE, so you can buy it off the auction house. But it drops in BRD. It's going to be tricky, tricky to get, but you're going to be farming BRD a bunch anyway, so definitely keep it in mind. 4 defense, 14 strength. It's amazing for paladins. And of course, if you can't get that, Lightforged bracers are probably your next best bet. Neck, you're going to want Verax Collar. This drops in BRD off a rare spawn. Gives you 1% dodge and 6 strength, 7 stam, which is really nice. Like I said earlier, you're going to be farming BRD a bunch anyway, so definitely try to get this if you can. Besides that, there's not really many other options that I saw outside of the Grand Marshal Morris neck piece that is a world drop. So don't if you're trying to look for something that's not a world drop. Chains of the Lich is also a nice alternative. Let me pull it up. It drops off another rare spawn in Stratholme. And this is nice because it has 22 spell power, and that's a lot. So definitely, if you can't get Verax Collar or the World Drop Neck, this is a pretty good alternative, in my opinion. Head, we got a couple options here. We've got Gift Skull. This drops off of the the Dragon Gith in UBRS. It's pretty good because so what's really nice about this item, outside of it having really good stats, is it comes with random bonuses, so you can get fire resist, which is really nice. So if you get the fire resist version of this is an insanely good helmet. going into Mortal Core. But the armor is really good. 509, 20 stam is really nice. 9 defense is also amazing. Like I said, drops off Gith and UVRS. We've got the Foreman's Head Protector. This drops in BRD. Yeah, it does. Yeah, BRD. Here we are. This one's really nice because it has amazing stats, as you see here. It's got pretty good armor, and it's got 13 spell power. So, I think this is another really, really good option, especially if you're going for, like, this is definitely your BiS headpiece if you're going for more of a spell power build. So definitely try to pick this up if you can. And then lastly, I have the Golem Skull Helm. This also drops in BRD. Let me pull it up. Lots of good stats. The armor is pretty good as well, and it's got 7 defense. So you can kind of make up your mind between these three, which one you want. The Gith, I really only would prefer the Gith Skull one if it came with some really, really good bonuses, like fire resist or something. But it's still extremely good. Especially like in comparison to those two. Let me see. Okay, nothing in chat. Okay. Main hand, Mirror Song is probably your best, most reliable bet. It drops off a quest for Skullomance. Let me pull it up. Yeah, Mirror Song. This sword is really nice because the 40 DPS is really, really good, but the main reason we want it is because of the speed. 1.8. That's insanely fast for a sword. I know Warriors use this because of the speed. Prop Paladins are going to use it for the same reason. You're going to be swinging for Seal of Righteousness as much as you can, and you're going to be swinging for it really fast with this weapon too, so that's going to be really good. And the faster weapon's going to be able to proc Seal of Wisdom a lot more, and just give you more mana return. So just in general, just a faster weapon is stronger. So this weapon is definitely your go-to, probably most reliable pre-raid BiS weapon. And of course Iron Foe. Everyone knows about this weapon. This weapon is insane. This is if you can get this, use it. But besides that, I would just say get Mirror Song and you're good to go. But I'm definitely gonna be farming this. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know, my BiS isn't complete until I get, or my pre-BiS isn't complete until I get Iron Foe. So don't like stress too much about this item if you can't get it. But it is definitely really, really nice to get. So try to get it if you can. If not, no big deal. Offhand, Argent Defender. Let me pull it up. This one's really good. You get it from a quest. There we go. Lots of armor, lots of block. What's really nice about this though is that it has a 1% chance when you're struck in combat to increase your block chance by 50% for 10 seconds. This in combination with Readout and Holy Shield, or just Holy Shield in general, can give you some insane block chance. Like, if you get Readout along with this and you pop Holy Shield all at the same time, you could be like block capped and just block like crazy. So this shield is really, really, really good, in my opinion. And like I said, it's from an Eastern Plaguelands quest, so it's going to be really reliable to get. And then, of course, Draconian Deflector. I'll pull it up. Most people know this shield. It's pretty popular. This one right here. Lots of block, lots of armor, good stats, fire resist, and 10 defense. So this shield is really, really good, and you get it from UVRS off the last boss. So try to get this if you can. The Argent Defender one is still really, really good, so just use that one if you can't use this one, but do your best to get this one. This one's insane. Trinkets, we've got a bunch here. I'll start from the primary ones, or the ones that I'm primarily going to be getting. Force of Will, of course. Any tank is going to want this. When struck in combat, has a 1% chance to reduce all melee damage taken by 25 for 10 seconds, and 7 defense. This one's insane. It drops in BRD. It has a pretty good drop chance, too. You see here, 20%. That's not too bad at all. But, yeah, you're definitely going to want to get this. This is definitely going to be one of your primary trinkets you're going to want. So besides that, I'm going to be trying to get Briarwood Reed, because I like the extra spell power. But it's probably going to take me a while to get this one, because I'm going to have to be competing with casters and whatnot to get this, because it does drop off a respawn. But 29 spell power is insane, combined with some of our other items that we're getting. But if you can't get this, which I'm probably going to put off getting this until much later, there's a bunch of other options on here, like Mark of Tyranny. Here we are. Dodge percent by one. Dodge chance increased by 1%, plus arcane resist, which is whatever, and then it also has armor, which is really nice. You get it from a Blackrock Spire quest. So this is probably gonna be the one I go for a while until I can get Briarwood Reed. Mark of the Chosen is another really good one. Let me pull it up. Get it from Mardon. It's a quest reward. 2% chance when struck in combat to increase all stats by 25 for a whole minute. That's really good. So definitely keep this one in mind. What else we got? Demon's Blood. This one's okay. Pull it up. Comes with 3 defense, shadow resist by 10, and 3 HP health regen or whatever. So this one's pretty good. You get it from a Blast Lance quest. It's not bad. The defense is nice, but there's definitely better ones. This is low priority for sure, but if you just can't get any of these other ones, this one's definitely a good option. Lastly, we have Smot's Compass. This drops in a SDV quest, actually. It's just increased dodge chance by 1%, so not too bad at all. Rings, we're going into the rings now. I couldn't really, well, there are a bunch of alternatives, but I just think you need to, these two are pretty reliable to get in my opinion, so I would say just go for these two. We've got the Naga Ring. I'll pull it up. Here we are. Drops in BRD, 5 defense, 10 stam, 50 armor, insanely nice. But what's really nice about it is that it has reflect damage. You know Paladins are all about their reflect damage for generating threat. So when struck in combat, it inflicts 3 arcane damage to the attacker. That's really nice. Like I said, more reflect damage, the better for Paladins. So it's pretty much got everything you want as a prop Paladin. It's got stam, it's got armor, it's got defense, and it's got reflect damage. Next, we've got the Band of the Steadfast Hero. Let me pull it up. See here, it's got lots of strength, lots of stam, and 7 defense. This is really nice. It drops off a one of the bosses, or an elite. I think this might be a rare spawn, actually. I don't remember if this is a boss or a rare spawn. I haven't done Skullmates in forever. But drops off him. Pretty good drop chance, 20%. Like that's not bad at all. So definitely try to get this as your other ring. Last we're going to the back pieces. I've got Spritecaster Cape. Pull it up. Drops in BRD, as well as most of the things on here. And it has really good stats, some decent armor, and it increases your spell power by 14, which is really nice. If you combine this with like Briarwood Reed, Foreman's Head Protector, you know, Play of the Shaman King, it's really good for like starting off early spell power. So I'm probably going to go for this because the extra spell power will be nice. But if you can't get this one, if you want something that's more avoidance oriented, I would say go for the Stone Skin Gargoyle Cape. Let me pull it up. You see here, 43 armor, so it's already got more than the Spritecaster one. 8 agi, which is nice. 14 stam, which is also really nice, and then strength, of course, which is also amazing. This drops in Stratholm, so this is probably your better avoidance cape, but Spritecaster is definitely better for, you know, threat generation and whatnot. So I'll talk about the rare spawns, I guess. I got through this pretty fast, so I'll talk about the rare spawns for a bit. Or not rare spawns, world drops. What am I saying? What is this? Oh, I forgot what the name of it is. There it is, Medallion of Grand Marshal Morris. This is your BiS, like BiS ring, or not ring, I'm sorry, neck. It's a world drop, and it drops off of these bosses as well. It's pretty good. You're definitely going to want this later on in Phase 1 if you can get it from like Rag or something. But 7 stam, 10 defense, it's bonkers for tanking. Definitely better than the 1% dodge you get from Verax Collar, and definitely probably better than the spell power you get from Chains of the Lich. So this is definitely your BiS ring, or why do I keep saying ring? Neck. This is definitely your BiS neck if you can get it. Try to buy it off the auction house if you can, if someone else gets it and they sell it. Or you can just try to farm it, you know, do whatever you can. Farming world drops is kind of scuff, but if there's any way that you can get it, definitely get it. Here we are, Stockade Pauldrons. These are your best shoulders, 100% if you can get them. BOE as well, of course, like all war drops are. So if you can buy this off the auction house, definitely do it. You're going to need to farm a lot of gold, but definitely get this if you can. This is going to hold you off for a long time. It's got insane armor, really good stamina, and then 10 defense, of course. 20 stam plus 10 defense is bonkers on a piece of plate. Like, that's insanely good. So definitely try to get this if you can. What else is here? Oh, yeah. Flurry Axe. Okay, so this one is definitely, in my opinion, it's hard to. I would say Iron Foe is still probably slightly better than this one because of the proc. Because the proc gives you 2 attacks, of course, and it does more damage. But this one's really nice because it's fast. And of course, the second attack is always insanely good. But it's really, really fast. I think 0.3 faster than the than Mirror Song, I believe. Yeah, 0.3. So you're gonna want to try and get this if you can. If you like, it's definitely more. Well, I don't know if you could say this is more reliable to get than Iron Foe. It depends. But yeah, definitely try to get this if you can't get Iron Foe. I would say try to get it off the auction house or something. On Alliance, this is actually going to be probably cheaper to buy than if you were on Horde, because on Horde, this is like insanely good for Orc Fury Warriors. So I would definitely say try to get this if you can. On Alliance, it'll probably be a little cheaper, a little easier. I can't decide between this and Iron Foe. Probably Iron Foe, because especially if you're a human, you know the weapon skills can be insane. But this is definitely better than Mirror Song if you can get this. I'm trying to think of any other weapons. Oh, Thrash Blade's okay. Pull up Thrash Blade. This one's okay. It's really slow, but the extra attack is pretty nice. So this one's okay, but I would still probably get Mirror Song over this one. Oh, let me pull this one up. This was a very underrated weapon for prop paladins. I know Dracova's talked about this weapon a bunch. Skullforge Reaver. This one's really underrated. So it's pretty slow, 2.5. Well, slow for a one-hander for what we want. The DPS isn't bad, but the chance on hit, the proc, drains target for 2 shadow damage every second for 30 seconds. This proc scales with spell power like a lot. So when I was wearing a couple pieces of spell power plate for my pre-raid on my guild's PTR, I was like, the proc on this, I was getting like 13 shadow damage per second, which is really good. You're probably not going to use this for raiding because it's going to take up a debuff slot, but for solo grinding or for dungeons, this weapon is bonkers because the proc. So you can spread this proc on different mobs, and the proc chance is basically doubled because of Steel of Righteousness. So you can get it to proc on one mob, and then just ult between targets, get it to proc on another one, and you're getting all that life drain back, as well as all that threat generation. So it's really good for dungeons and for solo grinding. Definitely an underrated weapon. It's going to be kind of tricky to farm because it drops off the last boss in the Strat Undead, but you can definitely get it because no one else really uses this weapon. No one in raids really uses this. I can't really think of a class that really uses this at all. I've seen rogues use it, but just like for fun. So I think like spell power rogues or some shit use this. Or rare elite, yeah. Baron Rivendare, this guy right here. Farming this is gonna be pretty hard, but like I said, it's worth it, in my opinion. Don't go super out of your way to try and get this. If you don't get it, it's whatever. Like I said, you don't really use it for raids anyway. But definitely try to get it if you can, because it's insanely good. I'm trying to think of any other weapons or anything that I forgot. Oh. This one's pretty good for grinding, because it has like basically like a built-in shield spike. You don't really use this for raiding or whatever, because... Well, you could if you weren't using the Argent Defender or Draconian Deflector. This is probably your third best bet as far as the shield goes for a prop paladin. It has like 1 less block than the Argent Defender, 2 less than Draconian Deflector. Way less armor, but the built-in shield spike is pretty nice, and if you stack this with like another shield spike, it's pretty good reflect damage. So if you're like AoE farming, you could just use this. Like this combined with like Skullforge Reaver, definitely really good for grinding as a prot paladin. I can't think of anything else that I left out. Of course, Tabard of the Scarlet Crusade is your best in slot tabard. It's so good, so cool. So yeah, let's see if I missed anything. I don't think I did. Like I said earlier about the dungeon set, only wear like 2, maybe 3 pieces. If you're missing some of these mitigation pieces and you just can't get them, like Deathbone or something, definitely replace them with some Light Forge pieces so you can get the 2-piece set bonus of 200 armor. And the stats are amazing. Like, they're so good. So besides that, I can't really think of anything else. I'll see if I can answer any questions. I haven't really been reading chat. I've been kind of ranting. What's your plan to farm gold as a fresh 60 paladin? Farming the Western Plaguelands for the most part, like Sorrow Hill, like around Uther's Tomb. That is the first place I'm going to, and it's a very popular spot, so I'm gonna have to try and get there fast as soon as I hit 60, and just farm it like crazy. Let me think. What else? Certain parts of Anderhall I can farm pretty reliably, like the areas where there's not a lot of casters. I can farm those pretty reliably. Mostly just huge packs in Western Plaguelands, honestly. And of course demons and Felward and Ajara. Those are some other really good places I'm going to be farming a lot for that Fellcloth. But that's also really, really populated. I've got a few secret spots in the Western Plaguelands that most people don't really go to. So I'll be there. Just honestly, I'm just going to be posted up in the Western Plaguelands the whole time, honestly. Just chilling, just hanging out, farming, killing the dead the whole time, ganking horde people. So it's going to be really fun. I will do some Eastern Plaguelands stuff, because there's a couple spots in Eastern Plaguelands that are pretty good. But mostly Western Plaguelands, yeah. And probably selling runs as well as a tank. If I can get my some tanking gear, I'll probably try to sell some pugs and shit for dungeons like crazy. Not sure if you touched on this, but have you considered doing 5 minutes for entire living blocks or job? Consider it. Oh, like dungeon grinding. I'm not gonna do it, because I'm trying to speedrun, and I don't think it's optimal for speedrunning. But I think it's really, really good for efficient leveling. And it definitely puts you in a good position once you hit 60. It is really boring though, and I think it's slightly overrated, but I do think it's strong. I do think it's very strong. And as far as that goes, yeah, I would say definitely get Consecrate early, because if you think about it, you really need Consecrate for tanking dungeons, so you can just pick up threat fast if things like on pull. Because let's say someone accidentally hits something. If you don't have Consecrate up, you're not gonna be able to pick him back up while you're trying to get everything sorted and get everything on top of you. So I would definitely say get if you're planning to tank dungeons, while leveling, I would say get Consecrate first, as soon as possible. Personally, I'm gonna be getting it pretty early on, and I'm just doing solo leveling, or not solo, duo leveling. So yeah, I would definitely say, especially if you're in dungeons, grab Consecrate first. Because if you think about it, going into improved, and I was talking about this with my duo leveling partner, getting improved Retribution Aura before Consecrate for AoEing as a paladin doesn't make any sense, because you're gonna be wasting 10 levels trying to get Consecrate while you just have one form of reflect damage up. So if you take regular base unbuffed or not improved Retribution Aura combined with Consecrate, that gives you 2 forms of AoE as opposed to 1. So I would definitely recommend you get that first, personally. What will be your time played for 60? Hopefully, I'm hoping between 4.5 days. I'm really going to be pushing hard, and me and my partner have already figured out our route and stuff, so hopefully 4 days. Here, let me pull it up. Because for dungeon leveling, oh, that's mage. No, 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 no. For like dungeon leveling, I'd do like something like, you know, this, you know, pick that up, or like strength, whichever. These don't matter. It depends on what you want to do. Grab consecrate, and then you could start going into retribution, getting like this and stuff. Or you could do like start going into prot, get like armor, because paladins are tanky as hell in early levels. Because of like devotion aura and stuff, but you're not going to be really using that much like in dungeons and stuff if you're tanking, because you're going to be using retribution 100% of the time. So you could do like let me get rid of this. You could go like start going into prot, get like righteous fury, shield spec, you know, blessing of kings, things like that, precision. Improved bop is insane for 5-mans because it's like a ghetto taunt. So you're definitely going to try and get that. This is just like an idea for like if you were just dungeon leveling. But yeah, no, I think dungeon leveling as a prop paladin is definitely very viable and very fine. You can't really do it until like level 20 when you start getting consecrate. Actually, well, you could start doing it around 16. It all depends on how soon you get into dead mines or something. But between 16 to 20 is when you could start doing it, because you don't get retribution aura until 16, and you won't get consecrate until 20 if you go full holy. But yeah, if there's any other questions, feel free to ask now. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything else I need to talk about as far as like paladin gearing goes. This is a spreadsheet. I can link it in chat. I've been working on this, and it's just for progressive gearing for later phases and shit. I have it for like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, 4, 5, etc. And then I've got like healing pieces that you can throw in there and some spell power pieces and whatnot. Depending on what you're trying to build. But I would say early on, you want to mostly go for mitigation over spell power. You're not going to be going like super heavy spell power builds until BWL anyway, when you get access to like full judgment and stuff like that. And the mace from Nefarian. That's when you're going to want to be going more of a spell power like threat generation build. So early on, I would just say go for mitigation, because like Molten Core is probably the worst raid for prop paladins in the entire game. There's just very few things in there that you can tank reliably, in my opinion, on progression, because like the AoE packs really start picking up and stuff like that, and the gear that really helps you doesn't start picking up until like BWL. NXT is whatever. NXT is a joke. You can tank it as a paladin. I've seen 40 druids do it. A prop paladin can tank it. Yeah, NXT is whatever. It's just a 40-man dungeon. Thoughts on spell power / strength threat? Okay, so I've said this before. I think spell power ret is optimal for okay, I think it's really good for PvE. I think it's absolutely garbage in PvP. I think it has no utility or usage in PvP at all. But if you're going solely for PvE, I would say go spell power. Another reason, my friend Two Dads actually brought this up to me the other day in Discord about spell power ret, is that even though it's more expensive consumable-wise, it's easier gear-wise. If you're trying to gear up like in early phases for a spell power ret paladin over AP. Personally, if I was playing a ret paladin, I would go AP because I enjoy it more. And I don't really like the way spell power. I don't like the playstyle of spell ret. And also AP is really good in PvP. But for spell ret, you actually can roll on a lot of pieces that most classes don't need, like spell power. Like there are no classes on Alliance that use spell power mail and plate pieces. So those are basically all yours. You know, like you just get free rolls on that pretty much constantly. Like, you know, people aren't going to need that. You know, I mean, maybe a prop paladin will, but like I said earlier, most prop paladins will be going for mitigation over spell power early on anyway. So yeah, if you're a ret paladin, spell power is probably easier to gear up early on, honestly, in my opinion, because you're not like rolling on. Because ret paladin pre-BiS is mostly, you know, fury warrior and rogue pre-BiS for the most part, plus two-handers. So, you know, if you go spell power, you're not really rolling on those pieces. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. But yeah, so that's really all I have to say about the prop paladin stuff. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and it shed some light on like my thoughts as far as like gearing for this class and shit goes. You're not, like I said earlier, you're not trying to hit defense cap really as a prop paladin, so don't be afraid to switch out some of these pieces for things that give you better stats and whatnot. Like, so long as you've basically like going into BWL, so long as you've got like pretty much your full death bone, or not going into BWO, going into like MC Oni. So long as you, like, if you're trying to tank in those, like, which I am not, because that shit sucks. But so long as you've got your full death bone, you know, you've got Mirror Song. If you've got Iron Foe, that's awesome. You know, so long as you got your full death bone and some of these off pieces down here, like trinkets, rings, and stuff. You know, you can throw like light forge pieces or whatever, chains of the lich, things like that in there, and you'll be okay. Like, it won't matter that much. And then, like, you're not really going to be worrying too much about hitting defense cap later on as well when you go into, like, BWL and AQ40, because you're going to be stacking armor at that point over defense. Because you'll be wearing, like, Judgment, like full Judgment or, like, full Avenger stuff. So, anyway, so I hope you guys really, enjoyed this video, or the stream, I guess. I streamed to both YouTube and Twitch today, so I saw there were a couple viewers from both. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This was kind of very ranty and me talking very fast about gear and stuff, but I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I've had this this chart for a while, but I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'm going to cut the stream here in just a second in case there's any more questions. I'll go ahead and cut it here. You guys can hit me up on Discord. I'll link it in the description of the VOD if you guys want to hit me up on Discord. So feel free to hit me up, and I'll talk to you guys next time.